Hello everyone. Welcome to Cybersecurity Learning Hub, your one-stop hub for all things cybersecurity. Today we're diving headfirst into the murky waters of phishing scams. Those tricky online traps designed to steal your personal information, your money, or both. Think of phishing like this. It's the digital equivalent of a wolf in sheep's clothing, a seemingly harmless email or text message that's actually a predator in disguise. And just like in the natural world, the better these scams become at blending in, the more dangerous they are. Now you might be thinking, I'd never fall for something like that. But the truth is, phishing scams have become so sophisticated that even the most tech-savvy among us can fall victim. In fact, studies show that over 80% of reported security breaches start with a successful phishing attack. That's right, 80%. So whether you're a seasoned internet user or just starting to navigate the digital world, understanding the different types of phishing attacks and how to spot them is crucial. In this video, we'll break down the most common phishing techniques you need to be aware of in 2025 and beyond. Stay tuned, because knowing how to spot these scams could be the difference between staying safe online and falling prey to a digital predator. Alright, let's kick things off with the most common type of phishing attack, classic email phishing. This is your classic bait and switch, the digital equivalent of casting a wide net into the ocean and hoping to catch something, anything, of value. We're talking about those mass send emails that flood your inbox, often disguised as messages from legitimate organizations like your bank, your email provider, or even your favorite online store. You know the ones, urgent action required. Your account has been compromised. Click here to claim your prize. Now, while these emails might seem obviously fake at first glance, phishers are getting smarter. They're using more convincing logos, crafting more believable subject lines, and even mimicking the language and tone of the organizations they're impersonating. But don't be fooled. There are always telltale signs that can help you spot these scams. For example, look out for generic greetings like "Dear Customer" instead of your actual name. Pay close attention to the sender's email address, as it might be a slight variation of the legitimate one. Think microsoftsupport.com instead of microsoft.com. Speaking of things to watch out for, let's talk about those suspicious links. You know, the ones that promise to take you to a website to update your account information or reset your password, but when you hover your mouse over them, the actual URL looks completely different? Yeah, those are major red flags. And don't even get me started on unexpected attachments. Unless you're expecting a document from someone, never ever open an attachment from an unknown sender. It could be loaded with malware designed to infect your computer and steal your information. So, what's the best way to protect yourself from these classic email phishing attacks? First and foremost, be wary of any unsolicited emails that ask for your personal information, especially those creating a sense of urgency. Remember, legitimate organizations will never ask you for sensitive data via email. If you receive a suspicious email, don't click on any links, open any attachments, or reply to the sender. Instead, contact the organization directly using the contact information on their official website to verify the legitimacy of the email. Remember, when it comes to your online security, it's always better to be safe than sorry. Now, if classic email phishing is like casting a wide net, then spear phishing is more like using a fishing spear. It's a much more targeted and, frankly, more dangerous approach. See, unlike those generic phishing emails we talked about earlier, spear phishing attacks are carefully crafted to target specific individuals or organizations. We're talking personalized messages that might reference your name, your job title, even recent projects you've been working on, to trick you into believing the email is legitimate. Imagine this. You receive an email that appears to be from your boss asking you to urgently transfer funds to a new vendor. The email even includes details about a recent project you've been working on together, adding an extra layer of authenticity. You might be more inclined to comply without thinking twice, right? That's the danger of spear phishing. These attacks exploit trust and familiarity to manipulate you into taking action that could compromise your personal information, or, in the case of businesses, lead to significant financial losses. And if spear phishing is dangerous, then whaling takes things to a whole new level. We're talking about the cybersecurity equivalent of Moby Dick, a highly targeted attack aimed at the biggest fish in the sea. CEOs, CFOs, high-ranking government officials, you name it. These attacks often involve extensive research and reconnaissance. Whalers will scour the internet, social media, and even company websites to gather as much information as possible about their target, crafting highly personalized emails that are almost impossible to distinguish from the real deal. Now, you might be thinking, I'm not a CEO, so I don't need to worry about whaling attacks. And while it's true that these attacks typically target high-profile individuals, it's important to remember that anyone can be a pawn in a larger phishing scheme. For example, a whaler might target an employee in the finance department of a company, tricking them into granting access to financial systems or transferring funds to a fraudulent account. The takeaway here is that phishing, in all its forms, is a serious threat, and understanding the tactics used in these attacks is crucial for everyone, not just the big fish. Alright, let's talk about Vishing, which is basically phishing, but with a human voice thrown into the mix. It's like phishing decided to evolve vocal cords and call you directly. And just like a good actor can really sell a role, these scammers are often skilled at sounding totally convincing. They might impersonate your bank, a tech company, a government agency, basically anyone you're likely to take seriously on the phone. And they're counting on catching you off guard. You know, that moment when you're distracted or in a hurry and suddenly you're hit with an urgent problem you need to solve right now. Maybe there's suspicious activity on your account, a virus on your computer, or a problem with your taxes. Whatever it is, it sounds bad, and they need your help to fix it. But here's the thing. Legitimate organizations, like your bank or the IRS, are generally not going to call you out of the blue, demanding sensitive information over the phone. They already have that information, so a big red flag should go up anytime you get an unsolicited call asking for your personal details, credit card numbers, or passwords. Remember, caller ID can be faked, so don't just trust what you see on the screen. The best defense against phishing is simple. Be skeptical. Don't be afraid to hang up if something feels off. If you're unsure, get the official number of the organization supposedly calling and call them back directly. And seriously, never install any software or give remote access to your computer to someone who called you out of the blue. That's like giving a stranger the keys to your house. You just don't do it. One of the reasons phishing works is because scammers exploit our natural human reactions to stress and urgency. They create a sense of panic, making you feel like you need to act immediately to avoid some terrible consequence. You might feel pressured to give them what they want, just to make the problem go away. But that pressure, my friends, is a manipulation tactic. Don't fall for it. Scammers are counting on you to act emotionally instead of rationally. So, take a deep breath, slow down, and remember that you are in control of the situation. You have the right to ask questions, verify information, and end the call if you feel uncomfortable. And if you do fall victim to a phishing scam, know that you're not alone. It happens to a lot of people, but the important thing is to take action. Report the scam to the Federal Trade Commission, FTC, and your local authorities. Contact your bank or credit card company if any of your financial information was compromised. The more we learn about these scams and share that knowledge with others, the harder it becomes for scammers to operate. So stay informed, stay vigilant, and let's work together to stay one step ahead of these digital con artists. Alright, so we've covered phishing in emails, phone calls, but what about our trusty text messages? Can those be used for phishing too? You bet they can. And that, my friends, is what we call smishing. Phishing attempts that come through as SMS messages. These smishing messages often try to create a sense of urgency or play on your curiosity. Think about it. You're much more likely to click a link if you think your bank account has been compromised or you've won a prize, right? That's what smishers are banking on. They'll try to trick you with messages like fake delivery notifications, prompting you to click a link to track or reschedule a package. Or you might get a text claiming to be from your bank, alerting you to suspicious activity and urging you to verify your information. Don't fall for it. The thing is, these messages often contain shortened URLs. You know, those bit.ly links, which make it really hard to tell where they actually lead. And clicking on them, well, that's exactly what the scammers want you to do. Think about it. Your bank already has your phone number. They don't need you to click a link to verify it. Same goes for legitimate delivery companies. They won't send you a random link out of the blue. So, what can you do to protect yourself from smishing attacks? First and foremost, be extremely wary of unsolicited text messages, especially those containing links. Remember, if something seems too good to be true, it probably is. And never, ever provide sensitive information like your bank details, social security number, or passwords via text message. Legitimate organizations will never ask for that information over text. If you receive a suspicious text message that claims to be from your bank or another organization, don't click any links. Instead, contact the organization directly using their official contact information, which you can usually find on their website or on a recent statement. Okay, so we've covered phishing through emails, phone calls, and text messages. But did you know that even those handy QR codes we see everywhere can be hijacked for phishing? It's true, and this sneaky tactic is known as Quishing, QR code phishing. Now, QR codes themselves are perfectly harmless. They're just a way to store information, like a web address, that you can quickly access with your phone's camera. But, and this is important, cybercriminals have realized that they can exploit our trust in QR codes to steal our information. Here's how it works. Scammers create malicious QR codes that, when scanned, redirect you to phishing websites designed to steal your login credentials, credit card details, or even download malware onto your device. And they're getting really good at disguising these malicious QR codes. They might place them in public places where you'd least expect it, like on parking meters, restaurant menus, public transportation ads, or even on flyers. So, how do you stay safe from Quishing attempts? It boils down to being cautious and aware. First, be wary of scanning QR codes in unexpected places, or from sources you don't trust. If you're at a restaurant and see a QR code on the menu, that's probably fine. But if you're walking down the street and see a random QR code stuck to a lamppost, that's a huge red flag. Don't scan it. Another good practice is to check the URL preview before actually visiting the website. Many QR code scanner apps will show you a preview of the URL, so you can see where the code is taking you before you click on it. And just like with smishing, if the URL looks suspicious or unfamiliar, don't risk it. It's always better to be safe than sorry. Remember, a little bit of caution can go a long way in keeping you safe from these evolving phishing threats. Well, there you have it. We've journeyed through the treacherous world of phishing scams, from the classic email phishing attempts to the more recent threats of smishing and quishing. But remember, knowledge is power. By understanding the tactics used by these digital tricksters, we can better equip ourselves to spot and avoid their traps. What's the most convincing phishing attempt you've ever encountered? Share your stories and tips in the comments below. Awareness helps everyone stay safe. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, stay safe out there. Thank you.